Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Now, the big rumour going around today is all about Denis Suarez of Barcelona. Lots and lots of rumours seeming to suggest that he's close to a move to Arsenal Football Club. Unai Emery, of course, knows Denis Suarez very well from his time at Sevilla. Suarez played for Sevilla before then moving on. He was at Man City, he was at Villarreal on loan, and then brought back to Barcelona. Played quite a few times for Barcelona last season, but this season he's really been on the periphery. He hasn't really been getting much game time, and now it looks like Barcelona are prepared to move him on. The cost of buying Denis Suarez, because it's starting to sound like Arsenal are looking to buy him outright. He's also, there was also lots of talk about a loan move. It's going to be round about the £14 million mark, which, for Arsenal Football Club at the moment and the sort of money that we're spending would suit us down to the ground. But it's starting to look that Denis Suarez is a big target for Arsenal, and Suarez is quite a versatile midfielder. He can play centrally. He can also play out wide on both wings as well. So sort of a player that would be very useful to Arsenal, especially in the current situation where we lack width. We don't have like a Danny Welbeck in the team who's that sort of versatile forward player. Somebody like a Denis Suarez coming in could be a good acquisition for Arsenal. And also, as I said, don't forget, he used to work with Unai Emery. So Unai Emery really familiar with the player. Listen, for a January signing, it might represent a decent signing. I wouldn't be against this one, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Of course, he could be seen as that long-term replacement for Aaron Ramsey. In my book, not as good as Ramsey, but he is still young. He's only 24. But we know that Ramsey is definitely going. I spoke about this yesterday. Lots and lots of suggestions that he's signed an agreement already with Juventus. Unai Emery is said to want Aaron Ramsey to stay until the end of the season. He sees him as a vital player to enable Arsenal to get into the top four. Juventus looks like they'll be okay in doing that, although there's also suggestions that Juventus wouldn't mind taking him right now. The whole Aaron Ramsey thing, when you look at it, I feel, a bit sorry for Unai Emery, because I feel it's quite obvious that Unai Emery rates Aaron Ramsey as a player and looks at him and says to himself, you know what, this guy is an Arsenal player through and through. He knows what it means to be here. I mean, you've seen it with Aaron Ramsey. How professional has he been? A player that since the start of the season knows he's on his way out, but is still, every time he's called upon, has still been that model professional. He's been absolutely exemplary what he's done. How many other players would have just downed tools and just said to themselves, I'm not going to put myself in harm's way. I've got a big move coming up at the end of the season to Juventus or wherever it may be. I don't want to get injured. I'm just going to coast through the rest of the season, or I'm just going to be pretty crap, so I stay on the bench all the time. But he hasn't. He's still been putting in great performances, and hence why the manager wants to keep him till the end of the season. But I just feel saddened that this is happening, and all of it boils down to the lack of investment from the owner of the club. I know I keep harking on about it, but it is, because basically we're getting rid of Ramsey because we need to lose the big wages that he's on. And even in bringing in a Denis Suarez, that Denis Suarez is going to be nowhere near what they would have had to have paid Ramsey if they would have kept him on, which would have been $250 per week, round about that sort of mark. They're probably out of getting Suarez probably 70s, 80s, It's all about saving money. And that is a sad thing at the moment when we've got a billionaire owner. And the mismanagement, what we've spoken about as well, of our transfers. I mean, I saw yesterday Dominic Solanke going from Liverpool to Bournemouth for £19 million. Yeah? Dominic Solanke. Yeah? That Liverpool, they only just bought him about a year or so ago from Chelsea. They're making a profit on him. £19 million, right? And we're losing Aaron Ramsey for nothing. So get that in perspective. Nothing. And Dominic Solanke, no disrespect to him, a good up-and-coming player, 19 million. That's the money. Now that's going to go back into Liverpool, and they're going to have that money available to spend come the summer, say when they want to buy players. They've got that money that they've made of. What have we got off of a player like Aaron Ramsey, international footballer, recognised throughout Europe? Look at all the top clubs in Europe that are chasing him. There I rest my case. Ivan Gazidis, who was here at the club, is culpable, and I don't know how much Wenger was involved in some utterly disgraceful previous transfer policy. And the one good thing is that the guys we've got in at the moment seem to know what they're doing when it comes to transfers, and we've got to put our faith into them. As I spoke about this one yesterday as well, could Sami Khedira be coming the other way? That still persists as well today. The rumours that Sami Khedira could come in the other direction as part of the Ramsey deal, but it does seem like Ramsey will go in the summer. I don't think Arsenal are interested in Khedira. Khedira, that boat has sailed. We don't really need a player like Khedira, I don't think. He's 31 now, he's knocking on a bit. So I don't expect that to happen, but he's still circulating around. Most of that coming from the Italian media. What about Petr Cech? What's going to be happening with Petr Cech? Really interesting that in his press conference, Unai Emery was asked about the future of Petr Cech, who's now 36 years of age. Again, another player that's on a big wage at Arsenal, drawing about £100,000 a week. Emery said that Cech, whose contract runs out at the end of the season, he said, Emery's quotes were, "It's a question to do with the club and with the player." So he didn't really want to answer it, but obviously not really confirming there that Cech will be staying on and that Cech will be offered a new contract. I very much doubt Cech will be offered a new contract. As I said, he's on quite high wages. Maybe they might move for another keeper. Maybe they might step up Emilio Martinez. Cech doesn't really suit the style of play which Unai Emery's looking to play, which is to play it out from the back. However, Cech is a leader in the dressing room. It's something I've heard for a very, very long time. Very experienced player and a very able deputy when he steps in. But what will Cech, like Emery saying, for the player as well, does Cech want to play first team football every week now that he's coming to the end of his career? Certainly it does look like Petr Cech will be leaving the club in January. In the summer. All right, so it does look like Petr Cech could be on his way out. Now, Diego Godin and this whole centre-back situation. I remember I spoke about Diego Godin a couple of days ago. I said that, he's stalling on a new contract at Atletico Madrid. His contract's coming to an end. Well, lots of rumours today that he could be going to, he's going to be signing a deal with Inter Milan at the end of the season. Again, as I said, for me, I know he's 32, but he's a top centre-back. And I would still, if I was Arsenal, be looking at a player like this, even with his age, because I just feel that, he's just such a quality player. Everything you need in a centre-back. But it looks like Godin's going to be going to Inter Milan. There's also Mehdi Benatia. Now, this one's interesting. Mehdi Benatia, again, a solid centre-back. Again, the only thing is age going against him. He's 31 now, plays for Juventus. Arsenal been looking at him for a number of years. Now, he's... I'd describe him as very similar to like Socrates, but probably a better ball player than Socrates, but very combative. I definitely feel that his style would suit the Premier League. I really do. And he looks like he'd be available. It looks like Juventus are willing to offload Mehdi Benatia. It looks like he does want to move on. He's not getting game time at Juventus. And for me, I think, I don't know what the sort of money would be, or could we get him on a loan or something? If we're sending Ramsey to Juventus, surely we're in a decent bargaining position where possibly we could try and tempt Benatia to come in. But it's just a suggestion out there. I don't know what you guys think. Anybody out there who's seen quite a lot of Benatia, I've watched him a lot over the years and I think he's a really, really good player. I think Arsenal should really maybe move for him a couple of seasons ago. He would have been a good addition to the team. But Mehdi Benatia looking to move on from Juventus, should Arsenal be going in for him. A centre-back that Arsenal look like they definitely are interested in is Rhys Oxford. Rhys Oxford plays for West Ham. Remember, a few seasons ago, he turned in on his, I think it was his debut that day, a brilliant performance against Arsenal. Actually, that's how he made his name. He's been on loan at Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's back at West Ham now, but can't get into the team at the moment. Now, he's stalling on a new deal, said to want to move to Arsenal. Arsenal said to be really, really keen on him. He's still only 20 and available for around about £3 million. And for me, I remember that performance he put in. I know it's a couple of seasons ago, but he was brilliant. A very, very good and talented player. And at 20 for £3 million, that seems like a steal. Looks to me like that would be a deal that will happen in the summer rather than now. But Rhys could be on his way to Arsenal. And for me, that's where, you know, if you've got a player like him as a young player playing alongside a Socrates or, you know, even a Godin, if we could get, they'd learn so much. And he potentially is a future England centre-back. Still very young, only 20. He seems a lot older than that because he's been on the scene for the last few years, but hasn't really made it into that West Ham team. That's the only thing I suppose that would be worrying, is like, why, after he burst on the scene and he was so excellent, has he not made it into the full West Ham team? You know, well, I know West Ham have made a couple of good signings at the centre-back position this season, but you still would have thought that he may have been knocking on the door for there. But Rhys could be on his way to Arsenal. And finally, Andreas Pereira. Now, Andreas Pereira of Manchester United, I've spoken about this one as well. The Brazilian has been linked with a move to Arsenal. It looks like United might be prepared to move him on. Just hasn't happened for him at Manchester United. But Arsenal said to be very keen on him, said to like him a lot, and keen to try and bring him into the Emirates. Could that be one that will happen this January, or will that also be a summer move? Again, let's wait and see what happens with that one. Of course, a game today, FA Cup. Going to be on my way up to Blackpool today. Looking forward to the game. Arsenal taking on Blackpool. It's going to be a weird one because the Blackpool fans boycotting their team at the moment because they just don't like the owner. We think we've got problems with the owner. It is nothing in comparison to what the Blackpool fans are going through with the Oyston family. But going to be heading up there today, and there'll probably be more Arsenal fans in the ground than Blackpool fans. But it'd be great for Unai Emery to get our FA Cup run going with a really, really big win today and keep that momentum going, that winning momentum going in 2019. This is going to be a tough year. We really got to get into that top four. Couple of really tough games coming up in the league as well. West Ham away, Chelsea at home. So let's get those winning ways and keep them going throughout 2019. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow.